Nowadays, the kids are growing up with electronic devices, especially smartphones. Even some kindergarten kids have a phone with them. For many parents, phones are actually the most powerful tool to babysit their kids. For instance, whenever my 5 years old niece wants to be a little life devil, a smartphone can turn her to an angel immediately. It's hard to imagine people's life without a phone. But mobile phones do distract people very easily. How can students manage themselves to use their phones properly on campus? Today, I would like to talk about the mobile phone policy at our school. Before this semester, we allow all the students to carry their phones with them on campus. But they are not allowed to use their phones during class time and bedtime. Once the students step into the classroom, they need to put their phones up into the phone pockets hanging on the wall or hiding their phones in their pockets or bags. If they really need to use the phone to look up information, they need to ask for a teacher's permission. Taking out the phone without a teacher's permission will cause confiscation. Although we had that policy ongoing, younger students are still trying to grab every chance to touch their phone. For example, they will constantly ask the teacher to allow them to take pictures for notes, listen to music while they are doing their work, or even spend every break time to play with their phones. In order to decrease more of the disruption of the phone to learning and help students to keep balance with other life activities, from this semester, we started to use a more strict phone policy, which is all pre-DP students, which means grade 8 to 10, are required to leave their phones in the dorm area when they come to school. This means that pre-DP students will not have access to their phones during the school day. Pre-DP students will turn in their phones before lights out each evening and will receive them back after school. DP students, grade 11 to 12, will remain using the old phone policy because phones can be really helpful for their studying and they're too busy to waste their time on mobile phones. Students are allowed to use their computers during the school day, but only for academic purposes. We will ask that WeChat to be turned off. Computers and phones confiscated due to students gaming during the school day will be returned to parents. Repeated offenses will result in the students' electronics being banned during school hours. There is exception though. If in some class students really need to use their phones for one time, like to record each other's performance in drama class, if the teacher can talk to the dorm supervisor in advance, students are allowed to take their phones during that time. Taking the phones out of students' lives during the day leaves them no chance to find any excuses to play with their phone. Students get more possibilities to focus on their studying or interacting with other classmates. It also makes them more willing to join in the after-class activities between the last class and evening study. Because, to be honest, there's not much else you can do. Students need to turn their phone into dorm supervisor at 9:30, which significantly cuts the time students spend on their phone before bed and make sure they have enough time to sleep. Again, unless you enjoy talking to your roommates, there's not much else you can do. On the other side, this phone policy might cause some discomfort to students, as well as teachers and parents. Because during the school day, the phone is used for many legitimate tasks, like communication between parents and students, and paying through your phone when we purchase stuff is very common in China now. This policy will also inhibit students' ability to make purchases during the school day, and as well as other uses that have become routine. So far, students and teachers have been getting along quite well with the new policy at school. Although the government in our country hasn't issued a law referring to students using mobile phones at school, every school has its own policy, just like us. What's the phone policy in your school? You're very welcome to tell me about your school and your concerns. Thank you for watching.